Hey, what's up? Jonathan Fink, Sports Card Collectors Club, and I'm also the author of many books, including this one, The Republic Baseball League. And I'm reading the next and last chapter from this book from my audiobook series. And you can catch all my other books in audiobook form to come. And the rest of my books you can catch online in ebook form, paperback, hardback. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. They're everywhere, even Target and Walmart. Today we're going to finish up. There's a trilogy for the Republic Baseball League, and I'll eventually put them all on audiobook. But this is the last chapter of the Republic Baseball League, Volume 1, Chapter 20, the PhD. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. If you really enjoy it, please subscribe. This is why we do this live. No safety net. Let's begin. Chapter 20, the PhD. Professor Dempsey was on pins and needles, waiting to hear from Dean McGregor with what he hoped would be good news. He passed the time by researching material for his economics classes for the upcoming semester, updating related curriculum, and spending several afternoons downtown at the Kansas City Urban Youth Baseball Academy working with the kids. He also spent more time at the barbershop to talk baseball with his buddies. On baseball card poker night, Dempsey entered the back room carrying the shoebox. He opened it, placed the packs of baseball cards on the bridge table, and said, "I brought these extra special baseball cards for our poker game tonight. They were a gift from my political economy class, hand-delivered to me in my office by Rachel, Corey, and RJ." Dempsey didn't realize that Mo already knew about this gift and the contents of the shoebox. Rachel, Corey, and RJ had visited the shop the week before to purchase the baseball card packs for their professor. Mo, pretending to look surprised at the cards on the table, said, "Oh man, you got yourself some baseball cards from the dark ages there. I'm not sure if you're old enough to know all those ball players." Dempsey laughed at Mo's joke, handed out the packs, and sat down at the table to play some baseball card poker. 30 minutes later, after trading cards with each other, Mo said, "I got a royal flush." He laid down the baseball cards for Amos Otis, Cookie Rojas, Buck Martinez, Steve Busby, and Frank White, who all played for the Kansas City Royals in the 1970s. Bobby replied, "Darn it, I was one card away from a full house." When the poker game ended, Dempsey started to pick up the baseball cards on the bridge table and place them back in the shoebox. Before he finished, his iPhone rang. He stopped picking up the cards, took his phone out of his pocket, and checked to see who was calling. The call was from Dean McGregor, and Dempsey's heart skipped a beat. With an anxious look on his face, Dempsey swiped his phone with his index finger and answered the call. Dean McGregor said, "Hello, Kevin. So sorry to bother you at this late hour, but I have some important news to share with you, and I felt it simply could not wait until Monday." "Congratulations, Professor Dempsey. You are now a PhD in economics. You passed with flying colors. You'll be glad to know that the vote was unanimous. Everyone agreed that your thesis was very well written, thoughtful, and provocative, and your dissertation presentation was excellent. We all agreed with your conclusion as well." Dempsey thanked the dean and told him that earning his PhD in economics was a dream come true. Immediately after he disconnected the phone call, Dempsey made a prayer gesture with his hands, looked up to the heavens, and said, "Baseball gods, I thank you." Then he told Mo, Henry, Frank, and Bobby the good news, and they congratulated him. Mo got up from his chair, gave Dempsey a big hug, and said, "You worked long and hard, man. You deserve this. You earned your PhD." Then Henry, Frank, and Bobby stood up and each gave Dempsey a hug. Dempsey sent a group text to Rachel, Corey, and RJ, thanking them again for their thoughtful gift and telling them his good news. Rachel immediately replied, "Congrats, Professor Dempsey. We knew you would do it." Corey quickly responded with, "Congratulations on becoming a PhD. Great news. RJ responded with, let's go. Congrats, Professor Dempsey. Saving the best for last, Dempsey called Sarah with the good news. She literally screamed with joy at his good fortune and said, I am so proud and happy for you. Congratulations, sweetheart. Feeling a sense of accomplishment and humble pride, Dempsey told Sarah that he would forever be grateful for the Republic Baseball League. End of chapter 20. End of volume 1. Volume 2, The Prophecy of Atlas Shrugged, coming up next. Thank you so much for watching and enjoying this story. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys take care. And as always, God bless.
This month, we have some great sports card stories from across the U.S. and talk to an author from nearby Leawood, Kansas, who has written a book about returning to collecting after 3 decades away.
My day job is I'm a financial advisor, so I've been investing for over 20 years. In a way to express my love for the hobby, I decided, what if I write an investment book, Sports Card Collectors Club, and treat the stock market the same way I would treat the card market. And so I thought, well, how would a day trader invest in cards? How would a venture capitalist buy and sell cards? How would a hedge fund do it? As I would go through my trials and tribulations, I realized that for as much fun as I was having investing, there was something missing. And one day I was watching the Royals game on television, and it was a rain delay. And the Card Life television show came on. I was watching that episode, I was watching Matt Strom open cards and rip packs, and I started getting the warm, fuzzy feeling. I said, this is what I want to be doing. I want to get back to really collecting and ripping cards and building sets. And that's where the story of my book has changed. I go from investing back to collecting.
I'll also open a variety of boxes from different sports. So he hit the home run off me in like the 7th inning. And then in the 8th inning, JT hit a double, so he's standing on second. And Mason Wynn asked him, he's like, hey JT, he's like, I heard Strom collects cards of guys that take him deep. He's like, does that mean he's gonna send me over a couple cards to sign tomorrow? And after the game, we had won. I mean, winning is the only thing that's important to me. So it's like, I was good after the game, whatever, and JT comes up to me and he's like, hey Stromy, he was really genuine. Like he wasn't taking shots. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, when I got to second, Mason asked if you're gonna send a card over for him.
I'm just looking around my basement here, just walls covered with concert posters and toys, and just like, I have no intention of selling these things. I collect because I want to show off the things I love and do it in fun ways. And it just never crossed my mind that, hey, I'm going to go buy this thing just so I can resell it. Like that to me isn't a pure collector mentality. And obviously things change and times change. And, in order for things to survive right now, you have to have that sort of chase for something valuable.
Yeah, it needs to be a circus. You know what? The truth is, I actually watched the live stream on eBay Live with Ken Golden and Logan Paul. They ripped a box of 86 Flair and a box of Series 1 Pokemon. And you know what? It was very entertaining. They're both polarizing characters. I thought it was entertaining. But you know what? After every pull, they immediately are showing the value. And and it begs the question, are we creating, not we, is the industry creating a gambling culture which has a real downside?
It already has. Right. Not created. It's here.
Yeah, and that's a concern. I guess for me, I hope to be an influence where we focus more on collecting, because you know what, when markets crash, collectors don't get hurt at all. Because the Sandy Koufax you bought that because it makes you feel good. It brings back good memories.
Said this one traded for my first big win. Jonathan Fink on the line tonight.
You have created community, so let's talk about that. I went to Rip Night at your shop. Let's rip it on the pack. And I went to your Rip Night 2 years ago. And it was one of the best. I wrote about it in volume 1. It was one of the best times I've ever had. You guys had this giant scoreboard where you had the chase cards, and everyone can buy whatever product you wanted, like buy 3, get 1 free, whatever product, whatever it was. You then, if you pull a Bronny James, you then get another blaster. Or I pulled a Reed Shepherd auto, and then I got a free T-shirt. And I sat around the table with strangers and had the best time ever. So let's talk about how important community is, and what you guys do is provide an anchor for community in our town. How important that is.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, one of our taglines, we say we'll make an offer on anything, but like you said, I mean, we got to pay what it's worth, and so if it's junk wax, it's going to be junk wax prices, which unfortunately, a lot of people end up thinking that their 87 Tops Barry Bonds is going to be a couple $100 or
it's worth nothing, people.
Brand and notoriety. And so when you're pitching these stories to these athletes, like I've reached out to a couple of different athletes about writing a potential article about their collections and having them kind of share their story. And it's like, yes, like I write for collectibles on SI, which is under the Sports Illustrated umbrella. It does carry weight. Like it does, people recognize that brand. It is important. And so I'm super grateful that I've been given the opportunity to write for that staff.
The top segment that was done by you on you was so well produced, right? Did all that come from the conversation you had with Michael Rubin? Is that how that put you on the map to such an extent that all those opportunities happened? How did that happen? Did you get a call one day?
Said this one traded for my first big win. Jonathan Fink on the line tonight with a pack in hand and a story that bites.
I didn't even collect when I was 3 years old, like when this card came out, but you just pulled a good one. Roman Anthony, from Dempsey. I love Wichita State. Yeah. I would have been thrilled if he went to Tulane, but his parents have roots in Nebraska. So for him, it was coming home. And so Nebraska got a good one. And so I'm not surprised that program's on the rise because they got a great stadium. They have great resources. They got a great fan base with people like you. And their recruiting is fantastic. They're finding the talented kids. So
yeah,
in fact, the Big Ten.
So yeah, Will Bolt, the head coach, he actually played at Nebraska when I was traveling with the Nebraska team in the late '90s. He was down at Texas A&M when I worked at Texas A&M. Rob Childress is the pitching coach, and I was on the hiring committee that hired him away from Nebraska to come down at Texas A&M, and they're thrilled that he's back here in Nebraska. He's a genius. The number of players in pro ball right now that went through Rob Childress, so he'll be under good guidance when he gets up here to Nebraska. They're good people.
One kid found a mantle in the rain. One old friend came back with the same old chain.
Talk to me about the reaction of the players, the other players, when they see this bat putter. Are they flipping out? They freak out when they see it?
And they see it and they're like, they just stop. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So the reason why I asked that question is because I had that experience literally yesterday. So when I first got the bat putter, I think I bought it 6 months ago, and it's customized for the Republic Baseball League, which is so cool. And now that I realize, now that I love it so much, and I got to use it yesterday, I'm like, I got to start buying them for different people. Like anyone's a guest on my show, they're gonna get a bat putter, okay? Yeah. But the point is, I never use it because I thought it was too sacred to me. I keep it in my office like a sacred shrine. It means so much to me. But then I was like, after watching all these videos and stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? There's this indoor amazing place in Kansas City called Tap-Ins. Okay, they have an outdoor putt, but also indoor. And depending on the weather, the whole thing, it's an amazing atrium, and it's become a successful business. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? That's a perfect. It was a hot day. I'm like, it's a perfect thing to do. So my buddy Paul Greenwood, who I featured in my first book, we went and played around. And when I showed up with this bat putter, people were freaking out. They were literally losing their minds, and that's when I realized. So then, and then, by the way, it was a Sunday, middle of the day, hot as heck. I want to see how it gets made, but you probably do actually.
I want to see if there's quality control testers there.
But attention! If anyone at the Tops is watching, Grip and Rip we want to get invited to a tour at a factory. The two of us.
I told them I would work for free.
Right.
I would work absolutely free. I want to see how their stuff's made.
Yeah, I'm curious. But like collation is like I'm sure there's a bunch of engineers that sit around and design
Got some breaking news for you.
Yeah?
Slab just texted me.
No way. What'd he say?
Looks like this is the first year to hear it. Who is that? Right. Let me see here.
Breaking news. Grip and Rip, breaking news.
Oh, U.S. agent. Okay, so I just got told that the finest mega boxes are going to be really, really, really good.
Oh, interesting.
1.6 numbered cards a box. So you're guaranteed one numbered card with a 60% chance to pull a second numbered card.
Wow,
and
interesting.
Autos are 1 in 3.
Whoa. So do you think that Topps decided to go big because this is their first year with Topps Finest in retail?
I'm going to say yes. Yes,
right? Because like
I do think so.
You usually get so upset with the delayed numbers, like the delaying them. Or maybe, by the way, I don't know if it's a conspiracy that the odds are coming out later. I just think that maybe they're just not as efficient as they used to be.
You might have watched this game back
I'm
when,
sure I did.
Currently,
yeah,
it's
Derek
only
Coleman. Yeah, he was on my fantasy team for sure.
pretty crazy to think, in the future you would be able to collect that moment that you watched.
Right. And by the way, check that out. It's worth $198 versus the ones that are worth 35 cents because it makes sense. Because the same way that you value your 1964 Willie Mays card, you're going to value your Drazen Petrovic, and you're not going to want to give it up unless it's for a very, very good price because you love that memory. And what's wild is the same way that you get the warm, fuzzy feeling with dopamine hit, whatever, when you look at a card on your shelf, it's the same thing. But when you're online at the bank, you don't have your cards with you, Paulie, but you do have your phone, and you can pull up your Drazen Petrovic and pay respect to him and watch a couple of his awesome plays that give you the warm fuzzies because you can. It's wild. And so